Summer in Britain. It's a busy time for wildlife. Whilst many species are in the middle of raising their chicks, others are still nesting. The long hours of daylight create an abundance of food and offer species plenty of time to eat. This makes summer an ideal time to breed, as well as raise young. As a result, summer is truly a time of new life. It's early June, and England's fresh waters are teeming with life. This reservoir in Derbyshire, on the border of the Peak District, is abuzz with waterbirds. Most notably, great crested grebes. A dozen individuals call the water around this island their home. But only a handful have been successful in nesting on the island. Using materials such as water weeds, these grebes build their nests on the banks of rivers and lakes. This is a very clumsy undertaking, as despite their gracefulness on water, great crested grebes are very inelegant on land. Maintaining the nests is an arduous and relentless task. Great crested grebes constantly rearrange their nests, adding new material throughout the day. Nesting has also been made more difficult by this year's unseasonably wet weather. This pair's nest was situated safely on the island's bank, but is now entirely surrounded by water. Fortunately, great crested grebes build their nests out of materials that float. Unaffected, the nest rises with the lake. The heavy rainfall is not the only threat this pair face. Competition over nesting can become quite aggressive. Their nest has gained attention from a rival pair. The male manages to chase off the unwelcome pair. He will have to continue to guard the nest until his clutch hatches. One great crested grebe pair on this lake have already successfully hatched 2 chicks. But now comes the challenge of raising them. Chicks often take cover upon their parents' backs, safe from predators above and below the surface of the water. The adults provide for the chicks, feeding them on a diet of small fish. Great crested grebes have evolved a strange behaviour. When the adults preen themselves, they will feed their loose feathers to their chicks. It is thought that these feathers help to line the chicks' stomachs, protecting them from sharp fish bones. These grebe chicks are already becoming more independent, spending more time off their parents' backs. But the adults must continue to provide for their chicks until they are fully fledged. It is now midsummer. Many of last season's chicks are still growing. As summer reaches its peak, grasslands bloom with wildflowers. The breeding seasons of Britain's less feathered friends is now upon us. Grasshoppers fill the air with their mating chorus. Nursery web spiders carry their egg sacs, building nursery tents amongst the vegetation. Butterflies flit between flowers, courting and feeding. Another invertebrate visitor to this vegetation is the red soldier beetle. Adults feed on pollen and nectar, as well as aphids. Short-lived, most of their adult life is spent mating atop flowers and tall grasses. As mating takes up so much of their time, adult red soldier beetles will even feed, rest, and walk about whilst continuing to copulate. This male has even tried to mate with a female in the middle of her molt. This breeding will continue until September, when the adults reach the end of their lives. The males are thought to spend so much time mating to ensure they father as many offspring as possible. Once copulation is over, the females will lay the fertilised eggs immediately on plant stems and grasses. The eggs are then left to produce the next year's mass of mating beetles. As the summer day draws to a close, a new array of species emerge. Something stirs amongst the vegetation on the ground. Preferring the cooler cover of night, these juvenile leopard slugs are looking for their next meal. These young have no parental care. They must fend for themselves. Leopard slugs are one of the largest species of slug found in our gardens. An aggressive species, adults will pursue other slugs. These individuals, however, are too young to pose a threat. Instead, they are food for many other animals. Another nocturnal species. Badgers will eat slugs if they find them. These slugs try to escape, climbing a tree to avoid becoming the badger's next meal. Once the coast is clear, they return to the ground. Using sensory organs on their tentacles, they smell for food. A vegetable patch catches their attention, but it's a long way away for the slugs. They make their way through the fallen leaves and vegetation. Something stirs up ahead. A black slug. Luckily, leopard slugs are not on the menu. Black slugs will eat earthworms, but mostly eat dead plants and animals. Realising there's not a threat, the young leopard slugs carry on to their goal. This tasty lettuce provides an easy meal for the juveniles. When they reach adulthood, their tastes will change, often hunting down and eating other slugs. For now, they will have to make do with what they come across. As a new day approaches, The young slugs must find somewhere to hide until the cover of night arrives once more, and they may continue to feed and grow into formidable adults. As the days begin to shorten, summer begins its conclusion. Great crested grebe chicks are now mostly independent. Red soldier beetles continue to breed in their final few weeks of life. And leopard slugs continue to grow and will soon be the top garden slug. All three species differ in their reproductive and rearing strategies, but all three have been successful in starting the next generation.